All right, today here with Dean Padgett, who is the commander at the Fairgrove American Legion Post 38, and you just said that you served in the Air Force in Vietnam.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, what years did you serve in?
I was in Vietnam from September 71 to September 72.
Okay.
I was a F-4 fighter jet crew chief.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had one of my planes was set up to fly in a minute's notice with 250-pound bombs of napalm for close combat support.
Yeah.
Like you may have seen in Platoon when he said, "Drop them on me."
Yeah.
Okay, that would be my plane that was dropping them on him.
Yeah.
And then my other plane was set up with missiles for a B-52 escort when we were bombing Hanoi.
So you guys had to protect the bombers.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Our unit got a presidential unit citation for that. It was called Operation Linebacker 2.
Okay. That's incredible. What did you always want to fly? I mean, how'd that work?
Well, I always wanted to not go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And my mom persuaded me to either cut off my hair, get a job, or join the military. Seems that I had low grades and that kind of stuff. So I went down to the recruiter. I didn't think I wanted to be Army, Marine, or Navy, so I went to the Air Force recruiter. And I said, I'd like to fly airplanes. And he said, do you have a college degree? And I said, no. And he said, well, would you like to work on them? I said, sure, that's interesting. And then the next thing was every step was towards going to Nam.
Wow.
So it was just my destiny to probably end up in Vietnam, whether I was in any branch of the service.
Yeah.
But I was one of the very last that got sent to Vietnam as a crew chief on the F-4, because in June, part of President at that time Nixon's re-election campaign was he made it publicly known that he was pulling troops out of Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So it was to my best interest of not being rocket attacked every night that I got to then do the same job, but in Thailand.
Okay, so you went to Thailand after that?
Yes.
How was that?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the stress was a lot less.
Yeah, I'm just imagining.
You know, not wanting to be killed every day.
Yeah.
But the Thai people at that time were just incredible. They were so friendly to the American people. It was kind of like I was on a 2-month R&R.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who flies Blackhawks in the Navy now, and him and a group of dudes would go to Thailand every year after they were stationed there for a long time.
Yeah, I got to go visit the city of Bangkok twice.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an exciting time for a small country boy from Southwest Missouri to be doing those type of things.
Yeah.
So it was something that I guess I sacrificed by going to Vietnam, but I would have never gone out of this 4-state area if I never had joined the Air Force.
So it turns out your mom was kind of right then.
Well,
Well, it turned out okay, but you know what I mean. Like, could have been a different ending.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I don't know that she actually had thought about the ramifications of war.
Yeah.
And it'd almost be like sometimes you'll hear a parent say, "Put them in jail; it'll teach them a lesson."
Yeah. Well, that might not work out so well.
Right.
Yeah,
But in my case, I got lucky in a degree of certain thinking that I did, come back home. But then again, I brought home some stress and some guilt because I didn't sacrifice like
a lot of guys did.
Guys did.
You're not
So
alone in that.
it took a while for me I was actually running away from something that I didn't know I was running away from. And with the love of a woman and then getting children, pulled my direction back.
That's cool.
To pull me back into where I used to be. In fact, when I first came back, I actually wanted to be referred to by a different name.
Really?
Yes. And through some counseling through the VA, that's not really rare. It's part of the guilt syndrome that, in my mind, me, Dean, didn't come back.
He was a different person.
But a different person came back, and I developed almost a completely different personality.
Yeah, because of that.
Yes.
That's incredible. I never heard it like that.
Sort of a self. It's kind of like a muscle that gets stressed trying to save the vertebrae.
Yeah.
That was myself, without me knowing it, self-conscious, dealing with the PTSD that I had no idea that I had.
Yeah, that's incredible. I never had it put that way. It's powerful stuff. So, how long did you stay in the service for?
I stayed in. My commitment was 4 years, and I got out on a Operation Santa Claus 8 days early.
Wow.
So right up to almost exactly 4
years.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I came back home, I got stationed in Florida.
How was that?
That was really wonderful. Except the base they had me at was a start your uniforms and shine your shoes and
Yeah.
keep your hair cut,
Yeah.
and I would have none of that.
Yeah.
So I got transferred to a bombing range in the middle of the Everglades
Oh my God, I bet it was hot.
and the orange groves.
Oh man.
And I was a jet mechanic, and there were no jets there.
So what'd you do?
I worked for a period of time with Motor Pool,
Okay.
and then that drove them crazy because we were over-teched.
Uh-huh.
And then I got to work with the electronics there and the radar, and eventually got put out onto the bombing range where I was made the non-commissioned officer in charge, and would order lunches and drive the personnel out to each one of the stations, and couldn't wait to get discharged.
Yeah. And just kind of wrote out the rest of it.
Yep. It was pretty good duty. It's just that I didn't have my mind right.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, I even turned down $10,000 tax-free
To stay.
to stay in, and I turned it down.
Yeah, just wanted to go.
Yeah.
Interesting. Isn't that Florida Air Force Base the one that was involved with that squadron that got lost? That always say the Bermuda Triangle. I can't remember what it was.
Okay, now see where I was
You
at.
know what I'm talking about? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
talking
probably it was either Homestead, which is down near Miami,
about? Something like that, yeah.
or Elgin.
Uh-huh.
Eldon. You know, it's been a long time. I forget some of them, but one was up by Tallahassee. But
I think that was the one.
yeah, the one that I was stationed at never has had planes assigned to it, as far as I know. It's right in the middle between the orange groves, right about where Frostproof is, and then goes on down to almost where Sebring, where they'll have those 24-hour Le Mans races at down there.
Yeah.
It's 115,000 acres of land. And there's just a cleared area with a great big huge pile of sand with timbers around it. And the pilots drop smoke bombs. And then there's one area where they put a banner with a bullseye on it, and they fly and they shoot the Gatling gun.
And just practice.
And they just practice, and they're actually training future pilots at that bombing range. It's called Avon Park Bombing Range.
That's crazy. That's super cool. Well, lunch is here, so I guess we're done. But thank you again for coming to lunch with me, Dean, and for your service as well, man.
I appreciate that. It's been a great new era with the recognition of military services.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it was not that way
No.
when I came home.
No, it wasn't that way for a long time, to be honest with
You
you.
know, in fact, I was embarrassed to say that I was a veteran, and especially a Vietnam
Yeah,
veteran.
that's not the way it should be. I'm glad that we've corrected that culture.
And
You know what
I
mean?
appreciate programs and things that you do, and that what the community does. It really does help out
It
with
does.
some of our veterans.
It's huge.
You know,
It's
and thank
huge.
you very much,
Yeah,
Mike.
Dean. No problem, man. Thank you.
Thank you.